Alright folks, it's time to make some comfrey soup, aka comfrey tea. So the comfrey plant that used to be loud and proud here is now filling up this 6.5 gallon bucket. So we're going to go add a few other things to it and let it sit so that we can give the perfect fertilizer to our garden. Alright, so I'm right outside of the man cave, sapper cave, and yes Dan, I do have the farmerish t-shirt on, so we're gonna make that a trend. But what we're going to do today, we got a nice day out. We've just done a bunch of weeding over in the garage garden. We weed-eated around some of the fruit trees. I'll actually show you the ones that were really overgrown. Me and Mrs. SG went and cleaned those up, so I'll put a little bit of footage of that at the end of this. But this video is about what we call comfrey soup. So most gardeners should know about comfrey. It's a wonderful plant, has some medicinal uses which we don't really partake in. We use it mostly for the garden. But comfrey is a wonderful, fast-growing, hardy plant. You cut it, it comes again. You cut it, it comes again. So it's actually full of all the nutrients and micronutrients that most plants need. So it sends down a deep taproot, sucks up everything it needs from the soil, goes into the leaves, and you can chop those leaves and use them as a mulch around your plants. You can also use it as a fertilizer, which is what we're going to do today. And we call our comfrey mix comfrey soup because we always are adding something into it. People know about the story of stone soup, where a guy sits on the road, he's broke, destitute, has nothing but a pot. He makes a fire. Everybody that comes along says, "Hey, what are you cooking?" And he says, "I'm making stone soup." All he's got in the cauldron is water and a couple of stones he dropped in. Everybody's like, "Oh, how does that taste?" He says, "It tastes great, but it's missing one ingredient." And each ingredient just so happens to be something that passerby has. So he cons them into, I shouldn't say con, he convinces them to drop in a little bit of what they have. Everybody goes by, drops in a little bit. And at the end of the day, he's got this big cauldron of stone soup full of carrots, radishes, some of everything, and it's delicious. Everybody comes along, they get a cup of the soup, they go on their way, they're happy because everybody contributed. So our comfrey soup is somewhat the same. It always has comfrey in it, which we've got our big 6.5 gallon bucket ready to fill. We've also got a bucket back here that we filled a week or so ago, and both these buckets we got from the going out of business sale at Roxbury. These are brewing buckets, so they got a spigot on it, which means we don't have to add one. And they also have this little doodad that you can take off to release some of the air pressure if you need to. We got these for a few bucks each, and they're going to be perfect for brewing comfrey because comfrey needs to sit for at least a few weeks. The comfrey breaks down really quickly, and the reason we call ours comfrey soup is because we're always adding something in. Sometimes it's dandelions. If we've just weeded and we've got a bunch of dandelions, it could be poison ivy, it could be whatever. But today our add-on is stinging nettle, which is also a super fertilizer. A lot of people make stinging nettle tea, they let it break down similar to the comfrey, but I think a little bit longer, and all those nutrients are released into the liquid. You take that liquid out, you pour it around your plants, and it gives them a supercharge. So we're going to make a comfrey soup today with comfrey, stinging nettle, and chlorine-free water. What we do to get rid of the chlorine in our water, we just simply fill up a bucket, we let it sit for a day or two, chlorine evaporates out, So then you've got chlorine-free water. So I'm going to sit you guys down. I'm going to mix this up, put the lid on it, and then we'll let this sit for a while, and I'll go show you a real quick picture of Mini Orchard 1 and the work we've done on those apple trees. And now we're going to sit it and forget it. And probably would have helped if I made sure the spigot was closed before putting the water in there. But I'll top it off with a little bit more water, get it up a little closer to the top, maybe an inch or two below the top, and sit it out here. One thing about your Comfrey tea or Comfrey soup, you want to put it someplace away from traffic, because it can smell. Even if you put a lid on it, if it's not sealed good, that odor can be unpleasant. You also want to put it in an area that's not full sun all the time, because the heat can kind of it can make the smell even worse faster. So you want to let this sit for as long as you can in your garden, ideally maybe 6 weeks, but you can use it earlier. The Comfrey breaks down really fast. The stinging nettles, not so much, but in 2-3 weeks you can go ahead and start draining some of the liquid off. You want to dilute the liquid. You don't want to use it full strength in your garden. So you want to dilute the liquid with water. So we'll take ours out of the spigots on these buckets, which is a nice feature. We'll set them up on some stones so that we can set a container up underneath, drain some out, and we'll start using that in our garden. And down here at the man cave, this is a kind of a microclimate. It stays cool here. It gets lots of shade, so they'll only get a few hours of sun down here by the man cave door. And if they do start to smell, I'll notice it, because I'm in there, you know, almost every day, either working or potting up plants or doing whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this one. This one's been out here for a week, the 5-gallon bucket. So I'm going to take the lid off it. I'm going to stir it up real quick, and then I'll show you guys a real quick shot of the work that we've done out at Micro Orchard 1. So I'm headed out to the orchard, but these 2 buckets will last us the rest of the growing season. We've still got tons more Comfrey out here in the garden. So the rest of our Comfrey will just be chop and drop. So we'll chop this, we'll spread it around our fruit trees. We'll chop some of the leaves, we'll let them sit out for a few days. Once they start to break down, they turn into this black mass, I guess you can call it. We'll add some of it into our compost piles, because that's a great compost starter also. And yeah, we got plenty. We probably we got at least a dozen and a half plants. Some, like the one I just chopped, we didn't even know we had. So all right, let me pause it and take you out here to Micro Orchard 1. So you guys may not remember, I'll put up a shot so that you can see how overgrown these were before. And I'll just walk you guys through now what it looks like after some serious weeding. So we cleared this out really good. We actually even chopped some of the comfrey that was over on this side, but it's comfrey, so we know it'll grow back. And we heavily mulched around it, and we left these logs, which I'll move these rounds a little bit more so they serve as more of a natural edge or bed for our comfrey that we have lining the middle. Some of this was shot, but again, it'll all come back. So this area looks a lot better than it did before. Yeah, we had a few of our friends ask us or advise us to clear it out, and it was just a matter of time. We had so much stuff over here. Some we planted, some we didn't. The comfrey, of course, we planted ourselves. We wanted that here. We did some berry bushes, but it had just all gotten out of control along with the weeds. And we still have some other areas we need to clear back here. But as far as these two apple trees that were damaged by the falling tree, we're giving them the most attention so that hopefully they produce for us next year. And actually, I was surprised if it's still here. I thought all the trees had dropped fruit. Let's see. This one surprised us because it's still got, I believe it's a golden delicious with a spider on it. So it dropped fruit and it saved one, I guess, as a gift to tell us that, yep, Daddy, I'm bringing the bacon next year. So this one did drop all fruit, but yeah, we half expected it. But now, yes, the trunk's damaged, but it's leafed out, it's doing good. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't produce fruit for us next year, along with our cherry trees and our other apple trees, and eventually our nut trees. So now we've got to clear out this area, which has a lot of flowers in it, but yeah, we need to clear it out because this is actually a comfrey patch here in the middle, and not many things will crowd out the comfrey, but these flowers will definitely slow it down. So yeah, we'll clear this probably next weekend, in that corner back there, and then this fence line, and it will be back to the way it used to be. And we'll hopefully get some figs soon. I want to say Mrs. SG has already harvested a few, but I see a lot of green ones on there still. Not as many as before though. So yeah, real quick walkabout in micro orchard one, and you can see figs on that one. And I want to say we may have some figs over here too. Yep, I already see them. So the 3 fig trees are doing good. And the apple trees look a lot better than they did. Hello, ladies. So another thing we like to do with our comfrey is give it to our chickens as a healthy treat. Yeah, we never give them too much of anything other than the feed, but when we give them treats, we like to give them some healthy scratch and some comfrey. We give them the honeysuckle. When we rip that off the fence, we give them, you know, whatever is green that might otherwise go into the compost piles. So we'll let them eat their healthy treat. All right, so I'm gonna get me showered up and changed. I'm running on fumes on both armpits, brother led, so time to clean up, get some of the funk off, and rest up for a trip. So as always, this is Rob, the Sapper Gardener, representing Essayons Family Garden, saying God bless our great country America. God bless you wherever you reside around your world. bless your garden, your kitchen, bless your harvest, bless your meals, and especially bless your family, that you have health, success, and prosperity as we have. Take care. Zapper out.